What's up? You want to fight? You want to go? Huh? Think you can fight me? What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. We're on this warrior. This chick is awesome. She is, I'm having so much fun on this thing. I want to talk about my sort of first impressions on Arms Warrior today. Having finally been able to do some dungeons on this thing, to get some gear, and just to really get things going. It's so hard to, like, manage 500 ults. I really enjoy them all, of course, and I enjoy learning about all the different talents and coming up with a build that I really enjoy, yada yada. But it just takes a lot of time, and sometimes I don't have all that time. But we are working on the Warrior, Arms Warrior today, and just a couple things right out of the gates. This thing is really fun to play. It is so fun to play. Like, they really changed how Arms Warrior works compared to any old iteration. If you used to play Arms Warrior in any other expansion, you'll barely recognize this sucker now for the talent tree and kind of the playstyle. It has similar buttons, things like Overpower, Immortal Strike, and Execute being sort of mainstays, and Colossus Smash and Bladestorm. But the way that you execute the build, the way that you sort of do it, is much smoother than it used to be. It feels like everything meshes really well together. Your burst windows are solid. You have really good damage even outside of like a big burst window. So it's a lot of fun to play. And it's really smooth. If you've been wondering about Arms Warrior, if you've remembered it from the past, it's not like the past where it was clunky and you had to really manage your rage and you had to play only inside of your cooldowns. Now it's like you have infinite rage and your cooldowns are important, but they're not the only thing that matters. It's really, really cool. Okay? There's also options. You can go with a cleave build. People are doing Skull Splitter as well. I haven't really dove into the Skull Splitter thing yet, but I know some people are taking this. I'm gonna potentially look at this soon, but I don't know about this yet. But this is the build that I've kind of cooked up for now. One thing that I've really loved doing is mixing in Unhinged. And what this does is when you Bladestorm, it throws out 2 Mortal Strikes. That has a couple of important things. First of all, Mortal Strike does giga damage. It just does a lot of damage. Over the course of all the dungeons that I've been doing, Mortal Strike is just way up there. It hits like an absolute bust, right? Your Overpower is constantly giving you the stacking 30% damage buff towards Mortal Strike, and the new tier set bonus also incorporates Mortal Strike. So Deep Wounds, the 4-set bonus, right? Deep Wounds critical strikes have a chance to increase the damage of your next Mortal Strike by 10%. And cause it to deal 4,700 physical damage to enemies in front of you. Stacks up to 3 times. This is really crazy because you basically want to be Mortal Striking as much as possible. This Deep Wound sort of crit buff happens all the time for me. I'm pretty heavily invested into crit. I don't even have a File of Corrupted Rage, which I was about to pick up. So let's imagine I actually got a File of Corrupted Rage. I'd probably be at like 42% or something. File of Corrupted. Let's just grab one just for giggles. Let's just see what this does, right? So my crit is just outrageous. I don't know why. It's just the gear I've been picking up. I'm at 37 crit, 20 haste. Not very much haste. I want to get a little bit more, but it's just kind of hard to do. So now we're at 42 crit. I also have the Dargle's Trinket. That's why my crit's so high. It's just what I've been able to pick up. So, you know, bear with me. But Deep Wounds critical strikes have a chance to increase the damage of your next Mortal Strike and cause it to deal that extra physical damage. We can see that damage represented right here. Crushing Advance is just the splash damage that Mortal Strike is doing. 5.5% is crazy. And then the actual buff to the Mortal Strike damage itself up here, this thing's critting for almost 150k. So I love this combo with Unhinged. What it does is when I Bladestorm, it throws out 2 Mortal Strikes. And then I take this talent over here, Blademaster's Torment, activating Avatar or Bladestorm casts the other. So if I cast Avatar, it will cast Bladestorm again, and I will get another proc on Unhinged. So I have 2 Bladestorms that each give me 2 Mortal Strikes. So 4 free Mortal Strikes. That's why I have so much Mortal Strike damage. And what's also really cool, of course, is you can pop Sweeping Strikes while you press Bladestorm if you want to. Obviously, you don't want to always overlap these things, but what I've done a couple times now is I've popped Sweeping Strikes, and I've done a bunch of my single target damage, and then near the end of my Sweeping Strikes, I will press Bladestorm, and it will throw out those 2 Mortal Strikes. Each one of those Mortal Strikes will hit an additional enemy because Sweeping Strikes is active. So this is kind of like the entire combo coming together with Unhinged kind of being at the center of it. I really do enjoy it. Besides that, of course, you have tons of bleed damage with Thunderclap applying Rend, your bleeds getting buffed by Bloodborne and Bloodletting, Thunderous Roar doing absolutely ridiculous amounts of damage. It's all really, really good. Let me just show you an example of kind of the opener here on Brackenhide Hollow. And basically what I love about what they've done with Arms Warrior is that it feels like on every single pack you have relevant damage again. Even if, like, basically based on the way your cooldowns work, on every other pack, you're going to have the Bladestorm up. Right now I'm doing my Avatar Bladestorm, and you can see it's doing lots of damage. I didn't Sweeping Strikes it because I just haven't been doing the combo. I'm getting used to the buttons, and I'm not pulling it off perfectly. But I think I do Sweeping Strikes at the end here. I should have Sweeping Striked kind of halfway through that fight, and then the Bladestormed Mortal Strikes that are coming out would have hit an additional target. But the damage is just crazy. Like, that was the first pack. We were doing like 130k. And then we have our Colossus Smash back, which is, of course, Warbreaker here. I use it right at the beginning of this pull. And then we do the entire pull. And lo and behold, it's back for the next pack. So your Warbreaker is basically up on every single pack, which is so insane. And then your Avatar plus Thunderous Roar. And then the spin. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called right now. Holy cow. Bladestorm. I was thinking Blade Master. Bladestorm. I'm so sorry, guys. Your Bladestorm, your Thunderous Roar, your Avatar, they're up like every other pack. But your Warbreaker is up on every pack. And look at the damage. Like, we're doing a consistent 130, 140, sometimes like 160k DPS. My item level right now, let me just pause one more time here. My item level is literally 409. Probably 408 in this dungeon. Like, it's just not even that high yet. But it's really, really awesome. The damage is just so good. Here's the next pack. We have Warbreaker back and Bladestorm and Avatar. It's just like every other pack, you're getting this insane double Bladestorm combo. Here's my first Bladestorm, which also applies Avatar, of course, for the entire duration. Then I can do my Avatar, which will pop my Bladestorm. Your damage is just so relevant. And all the while, you're getting those free Mortal Strikes that are doing, if you have the buff on you, which the buff was up all the time. It's this Earthquake-looking buff right here. That's the tier set bonus buff. Makes my Mortal Strike splash. I mean, it's just up all the time. So those Mortal Strikes that you're getting during Bladestorm, they're going to be getting one of those buffs for sure and doing extra damage. So here's the next pack. This was a big pull here. You always do this typical double pull. I'm just really loving this, guys. My filler right now is Whirlwind. I don't have any Whirlwind talents really buffing anything at all. There's a Warbreaker. Then I do a Thunderclap to get the Rend bleed. So I have a Rend bleed on everything. I have a Deep Wounds bleed, and I have the Armor Pen, or the damage bonus. Used to be Armor Pen. It's a damage bonus now. From Warbreaker. Now I Thunderous Roar. Boom. Then we do a Bladestorm. Watch our damage go up here. 115, 120, 130, 140, 150k. Then we pop Sweeping Strikes here. And we can start going crazy with Overpower and Mortal Strike. Look at our damage, 160k. It just stays up there. One thing that's really important now about this build, your Overpower will do a splash in front of you because of Dreadnought, right? It splashes in front of you. The tier set bonus, as we talked about, also adds a splash, but it's in a cone in front of you. So you have to make sure that you're aiming like I am right now, and you can see all the numbers pop up, right? I pop my Sweeping Strikes right here, and then every Mortal Strike and every Overpower in this cone is just going to be doing extra damage. I have to make sure that I'm aiming that appropriately, or else you're not going to really get any benefit of the damage. But 160k here is crazy for my item level. Imagine if I was 440 item level with like a really good trinket, maybe the Halls of Infusion trinket or whatever, and then I had like an Augvoker or something buffing me. Like, that would be absolutely ridiculous. Here's another massive pull. I have Sweeping Strikes that I should pop at the beginning, so I want to keep highlighting that I'm not playing this correctly. There's Sweeping Strikes right there. I actually did it right this time. I popped it with Bladestorm, so I did Avatar plus Sweeping Strikes. Avatar procs my Bladestorm. Now I have Sweeping Strikes up, and look at the damage I'm doing now. I'm doing 180k instead of 160k, 150k. So I'm back up to 190k now. So this is really what you need to be doing. 220, 230k. So make sure you popped that Sweeping Strikes. Maybe right before Bladestorm, or right after, ideally before you do Bladestorm, because you want those mortal strikes that happen inside of Bladestorm. They're going to cleave with the sweeping strikes damage as well. So, yeah, really impressed with this thing so far. Really loving it. I'm just climbing right now. I haven't done a ton of keys. I'm just working away at it. But on the defensive side as well, Die by the Sword is so insane. When you run in and do your big burst combo of, like, you smash a Warbreaker into a Thunderous Roar into a Bladestorm, like, that burst combo pulls a lot of threat. You can just pop Die by the Sword and literally take, like, no damage. So, that's good. The Spell Reflect is insane. I got a lot of damage out of Spell Reflect as well. I guess I didn't, actually. I thought I got way more. I feel like that's not showing all the damage somehow. But that's got to be it. It's just, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's good defensively, of course. 20% damage reduction and then reflecting a spell. I reflected like a couple of like really important ones, like Withering Burst and a couple diseases and stuff. So really, really good stuff. I think Arms Warrior is really incredible. Extra sustain from Fueled by Violence. The little build that I have going here, I love it. I don't think this is the most popular build being used right now. I know people are using Skull Splitter. I understand people are also probably using Storm of Swords to make your Whirlwind really strong. I'm just enjoying this build that I'm doing right now. It's kind of heavily focused on crit. It's heavily invested in what the tier set bonus is providing, which is that bonus to Mortal Strike. And then we're capitalizing on the extra Mortal Strikes by making sure that they cast for free from Unhinged, and it produces results like this, where Mortal Strike is our top damage, and the Crushing Advanced tier set bonus is doing a lot of extra damage as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you smashing some keys with Arms Warrior? Is anybody even playing Arms Warrior? Because I haven't seen one in a hot minute. I think they're one of the least played specs for sure. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Would love to hear from you guys. Let's get a conversation going down there. Thank you so much again for watching. I love you all. Drop a like and subscribe if you like these videos and you want more Warrior content. Thank you so much again. I will see you in the next one.